Good morning, students. So here again I am Sailesh Rathod from Sri Vasisht Vidyalay to teach you subject science for class 5th. Okay. So today our topic is revision of chapter number 2, that is food and health. Yes, student, because earlier already we have explained you this chapter lesson number 2, food and health. So now here I am with revision, a quick revision for the whole chapter. Okay. I have tried to include the whole chapter in this single video. So students, let us move to our topic. The first topic of chapter, that is food, nutrients and balanced diet. Okay. As you can see on the screen, I have taken the image of chapter from your textbook beta. So what the food and health tells about? As you know, the components of food, isn't it? There are total 5 nutrients in food. Apart from 5 nutrients, the 2 more components are water and roughage. Okay, so which are the main 5 nutrients? The main 5 nutrients are carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamin and minerals. Now students, it is necessary to take all these nutrients in proper amount in our diet, okay, to keep our body healthy. So a diet that contains all the kind of nutrients in proper amount, then such type of diet is known as a balanced diet. So which are the nutrients? Again I am repeating: carbohydrates, fat, protein, vitamin and minerals. Apart from these 5 nutrients, students, remember that there are 2 more components of food, that is water and roughage. These 2 are also equally important as these 5 nutrients. Okay, now as you can see on my screen, there are different types of functions of these nutrients, isn't it? And there is also the sources from which we are getting food items, I mean to say. So let us understand first of all the functions. Now remember that carbohydrates and fats are giving us energy. Okay, they both are giving us energy. In fact, fat is giving double energy than that of carbohydrate. Means whatever amount of carbohydrate is there and whatever energy it is giving, same amount of fat will give double energy. But still we are consuming carbohydrate in more amount because the energy which is released from carbohydrate is used up by our body instantly, whereas the energy unit in the form of fat is stored inside our body. Okay. Yes. Next thing, third one is protein. Now protein is helpful to us in other way, not for energy purpose but for the growth of the body. Okay, for the building of muscles of our body. Thus protein is important for the growth and development of our body. And next 2 are vitamin and minerals. These 2 are also equally important because vitamin helps us to fight against disease, whereas minerals are helping us to maintain the normal functioning of each and every organ of our body, isn't it? Our whole body systems are working in a proper way. It is working in a normal way just because of the minerals, isn't it? If minerals or vitamins or even if any nutrient is not present in our body for a long time, then a person may suffer from deficiency disease. I will tell you about deficiency disease in later on in this video. Now let us see the food items from which we get this type of nutrients. Okay, so as you can see that carbohydrates we get from cereals. Cereals means food grains like wheat, jowar, bajra, rice, okay, corn. So these are the food grains, we call it as a cereals. Apart from that, carbohydrates we also get from juicy fruits as well as potato and honey. Next, fats we get from oil, milk and milk products like butter, ghee, cheese, etc. Next comes about proteins. Proteins we get from non-veg items like chicken, fish, eggs, etc. as well as from the veg items like soybean and pulses. Okay, pulses means green gram, black gram, rajma. These all are the pulses. Okay, dal. These all are the example of pulses from which we get protein in large amount. and growing children should always take protein in large amount as their body is growing, isn't it? So you students always have to take protein in more amount in your diet. Okay, next is vitamins. Vitamins and minerals both we are getting from green leafy vegetables as well as from eggs and fruits. Okay, so these are the sources of different types of food items that we are getting from different types of food. So students, it is better we consume all the types of different food items so that we can get all the nutrients in proper amount. So as you can see on my screen, that source of carbohydrates are shown over here. Potato is there, banana is there, then grains are there, then bread is there, almond is there. So same way, sources of protein, you can see chicken, fish, meat, egg, milk. Apart from this, we get protein from pulses also. Okay, pulses like dal, then rajma and green grams, black grams, all these are pulses. Okay, next, sources of fat we can get from, as you can see, cashew nut is there, ice creams is there, then butter, milk and all milk products. Okay, as well as from oil also. Then sources of vitamins and minerals, as you can see, most of green leafy vegetables are there and fruits are there. So we get vitamins and minerals in large amount from these substances as well as from eggs also. Okay, apart from this, enough rest is also equally important. Okay, enough rest and exercise. So students, it is necessary that along with balanced diet we should take proper rest, and we should also every day we should do physical exercise. Because of this, what will happen, our body will remain completely healthy. But many times it is seen that even though we are following all these processes, still a person is falling sick. So why this happens? This condition, when our body is not functioning in a proper way, is known as a disease. So our next topic is disease. Now students, disease we can classify into two types. Okay, non-communicable disease and communicable disease. Non-communicable means which do not spread from one person to other person. For example, all these disease like deficiency disease are known as non-communicable disease, which do not spread from one person to other person. Okay, now what is the deficiency disease? Deficiency disease means a disease which is caused due to deficiency of any particular nutrient in our body. Okay, means if any nutrient is not present in our body for a long time, then such condition is known as a deficiency disease. Actually, a person will have some particular symptoms and will have some drawback. Either any effect will be there in any particular organ. For example, as we can see, first is night blindness. Okay, so night blindness is caused due to deficiency of vitamin A. In this, a person will not be able to see in dim light, okay, in late evening time. Same way you can see here another disease like scurvy is there, rickets is there, goiter is there. Scurvy is caused due to deficiency of vitamin C, whereas ricket is caused due to deficiency of vitamin D. Now in scurvy, what happen? A person will have bleeding gums, whereas in rickets, our person's bones will be affected. Bone will become very soft. Okay. Next, goiter. Goiter is actually a deficiency disease of mineral. Which mineral? It is mineral iodine. Yes, if iodine is not present in enough amount, then a person will suffer from goiter. So these are some deficiency diseases which all are included into non-communicable. Now next, let us see as communicable disease. Communicable disease means a disease which spread from one person to other person is known as communicable disease. Now students, these diseases are spreaded actually caused due to germs. Okay, and they are spreaded due to many other reasons that we will discuss later on. But let us understand these germs. Germs are very small microorganisms which we cannot see them with our naked eyes. Okay, as they are so small, so it becomes very hard for us to keep ourselves away from them, and they are present everywhere in our surrounding. Either we say land surface, in water or in air, everywhere they are present. Now there are four types of germs: bacteria, protozoa. As you can see on my screen, see the picture of protozoa. Then next is fungi, third is bacteria, and virus. So these are the four different types of germs. Out of these, virus is most dangerous, students, because they are very small in size and they are a living thing also as well as non-living thing. Means when they are inside the body of any person, at that time they are acting as a living thing. But when they are outside in nature, when they are not present in any host body, at that time they are behaving as a non-living thing. So that's why they are very dangerous also, and thus they are not considered as a connecting link between living and non-living thing. Now let us see the spreading of communicable disease. Students, communicable disease can spread through, first is direct contact. Yes, if we are coming in direct contact, if any healthy person is coming in direct contact with any infected person by giving a hug or by shaking hand or by using the things which is already used by infected person, then there are chances of spreading communicable disease from infected person to healthy person. Next is through infected food and water. Yes, students, if food is infected, means if food is contaminated, means it is spoiled. If germs are present in food, especially in open food, then such food and water which is containing germs, if it is consumed by any person, any healthy person, then that healthy person will also suffer from that particular disease. Now who is doing this? House flies. Yes, house flies and other small insects which are flying in our surrounding and in our house area, they used to sit on garbage and carry germs, and when they sit on our food items, they transfer the germs into our food, and like this they are contaminating our food. Next is through the air we breathe. Yeah, sometimes germs are present in air also, especially when any patient, or say when any infected person is sneezing or coughing or spitting, and especially in while sneezing and while taking deep breath, person is releasing many small droplets in which germs are present. Okay, so like these germs can spread through air also. Next, through insects. Yes, students, remember that insects like mosquito is also responsible for spreading of communicable disease. Yes, student, mosquitoes like Anopheles female mosquito is causing malaria disease, whereas Aedes aegypti is causing dengue fever. So these how actually they do, when these mosquitoes are biting an infected person, germ is entering into their body, and same mosquito when bite any healthy person, so germs from mosquito's body it will transfer into healthy person's body, and like this such disease are spreading. Okay, next is prevention. Now let us talk about prevention of communicable disease. Prevention means what? Prevention means to stop the spreading of communicable disease. Now how we can do this? We can do very simple, in simple ways we can prevent the spreading of communicable disease. First, as you can see on my screen, boiling. Yes, through boiling we can stop the spreading of germs through water. If we are drinking water, we should boil it first in morning, and we should let it to cool down at a normal temperature. Because of this, what will happen, that if germs are present inside water, that germs will get killed. Okay, and thus they will not be harmful to us. So this way also we can prevent us from getting any type of communicable disease. Next is sunlight and fresh air. Yes, students, sunlight is a natural source which can kill the germs. So we should allow sunlight and fresh air to enter in our house as much as possible in daytime. Okay, and fresh air will remove the warm air and moist air from our house, because warm air and moist air is very likely by germs to spread. Next is keeping the toilet and clean house. Yes, students, cleaning is very much important, because if we are cleaning our house regularly, then there will not be any type of germs, and there will be not any type of mosquitoes or such type of insects in our house. So cleaning is most important. Next, vaccination. Yes, vaccination is also one of the most important factor which prevents the communicable disease. Actually vaccination is nothing but a process of injecting vaccine inside the body of a small child, in early stage of the life, so that body become stronger, the immunity of body will be enhanced. Okay. Now actually vaccine is not any medicine, but it is a content which contains a killed form of that particular disease. Okay, killed form of germs of that particular disease. So what happened, by introducing the killed germs inside the body will get a chance to identify that type of germs, and body will starts to make fighting substance in our body which is known as antibodies. So what happened, body will become familiar with that type of germs. Now in future, if any same type of germ, active germ is entering inside the body, then body, as it is familiar with the germs, body will immediately starts to make such type of antibodies and will fight very soon and will kill all the germs, and like this body will not get that type of disease again in future. So this is the purpose of giving vaccine. Okay, so this was all about communicable disease, and students, in whole chapter we have already discussed about this in previous videos, and again here in revision I have tried to explain you in deep and thoroughly. So I hope that you have read the chapter, and I have cleared the doubt of yours. If is there any doubt still, if you are having any doubt, you can ask me in further videos also. I will try to solve out your all the queries. Okay students, thank you.